Jeff Meeks and Chris Austin invite you to watch your favorite sports event at the Batter's Box at 43 Hermitage Avenue in Nashville, Tennessee. The Batter's Box offers shuttle service to all Titans home games. It's a great place for friends to gather for the game and after the game. So check out the Batter's Box Bar and Grill, and thanks again for sponsoring the show. Today's show is brought to you by locally owned and operated Highland Rim Speedway. Highland Rim Speedway is celebrating its 50th anniversary this year with great short-track, door-to-door stock car racing in a safe, family-friendly atmosphere. Visit their website at highlandrim.com.
Hey guys, and welcome back to Week 13 of Football Fantasy on the field with me, Nancy Filippelli, and my sidekick, Shara Rivera.
That's me.
Oh, how I've missed you.
Well, why wouldn't you?
I'm glad to be back, and I'm glad to be back in the studio. Hope everyone had a happy Thanksgiving. Even Brian, our camera guy, really? He's still here with us? I thought for sure he would have choked on a chicken bone or something.
Not yet. Not yet.
Eat the bones no more.
Later on in the show, we have special guest Rob Bironas, kicker for the Tennessee Titans, will be stopping by to say hey, talk about his predictions for this week's matchups, and answer some of your Twitter questions. I'll also be giving you some of the sit-em and start-em situations as well. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
From the family grocery hauler to fire-breathing racing engines, the one name you need to know is USA Motor and Machine, located at 51 Cleveland Avenue in Nashville, Tennessee. Give them a call at 615-726-3725 or at usamotorandmachine.com. Bandwidth for today's show is brought to you by SoftLayer.com. We love SoftLayer here at Talkapolis. They are the greatest hosting company ever. They make everything easy. Check out their website at SoftLayer.com. Thanks again for sponsoring the show.
We're back, and we're going to give you some sit-em and start-em situations now, as well as watching the waiver wire. Tampa Bay Bucks quarterback Josh Freeman faces the Denver Broncos, one of the NFL's most talented defenses on the road. The Broncos boast the second highest scoring fantasy defense / special teams this season, and their secondary ranks 5th in the league in fewest passing yards allowed per game at only 210. Josh Freeman, sit him. He's not the only one to face a solid defense this week. Our very own Chris Johnson takes on the Houston Texans. Woo. We've been talking about the Houston Texans all year. However, after an unbelievably slow start to 2012, Titans running back Chris Johnson has rebounded nicely, rushing for nearly 900 yards over his last 8 games. On Sunday, the Titans will host the AFC South rival, the Houston Texans, in Nashville. And although the Texans rank 2nd in the NFL in rush defense this season, giving up just 87 yards per game on the ground, Johnson has had a dominant day against them. Back in Week 4, Johnson rushed for over 141 yards on 25 carries against Houston, the first time these two teams met this year. Start 'em.
Who else?
Okay, I'll tell you. Vernon Davis and the 49ers will take on the St. Louis Rams this weekend, a team that has been shockingly strong at stopping the pass this year. Plus, the last time Davis faced the St. Louis Rams secondary, back in Week 10, he finished with just 4 catches and 30 yards. Sure, Davis has been one of the highest tight ends scoring fantasy in this year, but he's facing a matchup this Sunday that will render him ineffective for the 2nd straight week. Sit him. Do you agree with me? Of course she does.
Hey! Just finish up so we can move on to the Twitter area, because that's what I'm proficient in.
Oh, really? Is that right? Are you going to ask me some Twitter questions?
I have a whole mailbag full of tweets that need answers.
Fabulous. Oh, I did my Smithers fingers. Did you see that? That's what Kelly calls it, my Smithers fingers.
That's right.
Yes.
I love
okay.
fingers. Back to business.
But they're also spirit fingers, too. Back to business.
No, those are these. So Jess.
From Bring It On.
Yes, my favorite movie.
Remember, go on a diet before your ass catches up to your face, or whatever he said? Or forms its own zip code?
Yes.
Something? Not
Yeah,
you,
that's
because
right.
Shara's ass is like
It is.
spot on, perfect. I'm just saying.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it really is.
Back
Okay.
to fantasy now. Not my fantasy. Your fantasy.
You've
Never
quickly
mind.
become
Never
their
mind.
fantasy. But anyway, assuming that Kaepernick continues to be the starting quarterback for the 49ers, you have to pick him up now. How awkward was watching Alex Smith on the sidelines, though, after he was benched? Yikes. But it all worked out, and Kaepernick's versatility makes him a very valuable fantasy football quarterback. Not only has he thrown the ball efficiently in his first 2 starts, 474 yards, 3 touchdowns, but also Kaepernick is also a great runner. With his ability to score fantasy points throwing and running, Kaepernick should also be a solid fantasy quarterback for the rest of the season if he starts playing the Rams this week. Pick him up if he's available and start him. Since Jaguars quarterback Blaine Gabbert got injured playing against our Titans last week, Chad Henne has been outstanding. In his last 2 games, Henne has thrown for 615 yards and 6 touchdowns. If he continues to play like this, Henne has for sure got a legitimate shot at being the Jaguars' starting quarterback next season. Where was this Chad Henne when he was playing with my Dolphins?
I don't know. I'm with the Jaguars, remember?
Anybody playing against the Saints, start him. The Saints have allowed more than 300 yards passing and multiple touchdowns in the same game 6 times out of the last 7. New Orleans also doesn't keep anyone from running the ball. Running quarterbacks, Robert Griffin III, Cam Newton, and Michael Vick averaged 55 yards per game on the ground against the Saints.
What else?
What else you got? What else should we talk about? Should we do Twitter questions now?
Let's do it.
Should we go to a word from our sponsors, our fabulous, wonderful sponsors?
I think we should.
Jeff Meeks and Chris Austin invite you to watch your favorite sports event at the Batters Box at 43 Hermitage Avenue in Nashville, Tennessee. The Batters Box offers shuttle service to all Titans home games. It's a great place for friends to gather for the game and after the game. So check out the Batters Box Bar and Grill, and thanks again for sponsoring the show.
Welcome back, friends and neighbors. This segment
Neighbors?
is called...
Really?
Yes.
Neighbors?
Well, I know my neighbors are watching this. I don't know about yours. Do you even know your neighbors?
I actually just got a new neighbor, and...
You were so excited right now.
Well, actually, I'm excited to tell you this, because I haven't told you this yet. She is hideous, okay? And she has a dog.
Don't start on dogs. It better be a pretty bad puppy.
It is not a puppy. It is like a pit bull mixed with the devil. And it barks all day long.
Oh, I hate
morning,
that.
noon, and night. It never shuts up. So I'm literally banging on my walls. Shut up!
Did you try to go talk to her first, though?
Yes,
or did you
and
just
she's
get
like
nasty.
I'm like, I was really nice about it at first. I'm like, oh, is your animal just getting acclimated to his surroundings? I'm like, why is he barking all the livelong day? And she's like, yeah, I'm sure he'll, do this for like a couple days and get used to it and then not. So right now I'm in the market for chocolate flavored dog food or anything to get lodged in his throat.
Hey.
Or what? Is that bad?
Can
I say that?
Doggy lover.
Oh yeah, I can use Brian's chicken bones. I'm
sorry,
aggravated.
but you can't go
Can you
that
see
measure.
these bags under my eyes? I can't sleep. I'm exhausted.
Why don't you just contact
It's
the
the
landlord?
lighting, actually.
Or,
If Brian could fix that, that would be great.
do you live in a condo or?
I live in a townhouse
Oh,
at this juncture.
Me.
I know, right?
Well, guess you have to take matters into your own hands.
Well, I'm going to. Okay.
But just don't hurt the little four-legged creature. So
I won't.
back to the tweets mailbag. That's our new segment. We had a bunch of people write in and want
Yay!
Nancy,
What did
the
they say?
football guru, answer these. Well,
Oh my gosh! Remember when I called Will Bartholomew the guru and got his head all big, and I totally take that back. P.S. Anyway, continue.
because there can only be
As
one.
you were. And it's this
All
kid
right.
right here.
So at Balalova007 says, since Rob Gronkowski went down a couple of weeks ago, I have struggled to replace him. Who should I be looking at this week?
I totally feel your pain. I picked him up too. Remember when I was drafting him, Grabkowski? I was very excited. And
That's the kicker.
yeah, lucky for me, I did a trade and I got Jimmy Graham. Shockingly, miraculously, got Jimmy Graham. So I don't have to worry about that too much. But see if your trade deadline isn't expired yet and try to work a trade, or look at maybe Brandon Myers with the Oakland Raiders. He probably isn't taken and probably still available, so check him out. He has an easy schedule coming up this weekend, so
Do that.
I would definitely not look at Gronkowski's backups. However, Brady likes to spread the wealth around, so don't even look there at them.
Spread the wealth around?
Yeah.
I like that saying.
Vereen, I'm sure everybody's got him by now, but you can take a gander at him as well. See if
what
he's
happens.
available.
Well, at TrulyOfish360 says, which Pats running back do I start, Vereen or Ridley?
Vereen, all day long, hands down. Have you been watching football at all?
Well, I don't know. Do you think Ridley is a more consistent running back?
I mean, all I know is that he got 42 yards rushing and 91 yards receiving and a touchdown against the Jets. I mean, need I say more?
Well,
And they're
but
playing
then-
Miami this week, which maybe would be a chance to start the other guy. But
why are you starting?
well, I mean,
Vereen?
they're both playing Miami actually. What?
Yeah. Well, then, I mean, but why'd you pick Vereen all in all?
I picked him because he had a blow-up game last week, and I feel like he is going to have another blow-up game because he's getting the ball a lot. He's getting the ball. They're giving him the ball.
Love
Start him!
action.
Yes.
All right. At
Getting a lot of
Delay
action.
Sprunk Killa, Now that the year is close to being done, who has had the better rookie year, Luck or RG3?
Oh, RG3, hands down. I think he's got better. I mean, Luck is a great rookie, absolutely a great. He's not even a rookie in my eyes. He's just
he turned the Colts
a great
into a
starter,
playoff contender.
He's fabulous. He looks like a veteran to me. He's smart. He's got it all together. But if we're going on stats, RG3 has 16 touchdowns, 2,500 yards passing already, and only 3 interceptions. And
he always
Luck,
has a champion face too. Whenever I see him, he's
like
a baller, ear to ear.
He's a baller. Luck has almost 1,000 more yards, actually. Well, 3,200. But he has 13 interceptions and only 13 touchdowns. That's 3 less than RG3. I just think RG3's stats are better. He's got a better team around him, and I don't know. I would take him all day long. Yeah, I would take him all day long.
All right. At Busta Wide Open, Chris Johnson has been better away. Should I start him at home over Ryan Matthews or Trent Richardson?
Yeah, Chris Johnson, all the way. Yes, start Chris Johnson. Absolutely.
Okay.
Next.
Well, That Ain't My Baby says Dalton or
I love
Rivers
this guy.
this
He
week.
asked us a question before.
I know.
That
he's
ain't
back.
my baby. He's back. What does he want to know? Because I'm going to tell him
Nancy
everything he wants to
brain
know.
Power.
What would he like to know?
He wants to know Dalton or Rivers this week.
Oh, duh, Dalton.
Can't trust Rivers, I don't think.
You can't trust him, and the Bengals are playing the Chargers, who are ranked 20th in the league in against the pass. So definitely start Dalton without a doubt.
Okay.
They give up so many. They're giving up like 20, averaging 20 fantasy points to the opposing quarterback. So definitely start Andy Dalton. I don't trust Rivers as far as I can throw him. Ha! No pun intended.
Our last one
What's
today.
the next one?
Again, back from more. At Thicker Than a Snicker says,
I love that.
is this a good week to set Marshawn Lynch? If no, who would be a good pickup?
No, I definitely don't think sit Marshawn Lynch. I started him in my fantasy league. He's projected to have about 13 fantasy points in our scoring format. Start him, start him, start him.
I don't think it's ever a good idea to sit him.
I don't think so either. See, she's
Always
getting
on
it. She
top.
gets it.
That's right. Let's talk about the NFL standings.
Let's do it.
Okay. So the NFC East, Giants are leading at 7-4. For the NFC North, Chicago is killing it, leading at 8-3.
The Bears.
Then on to NFC South, Atlanta is 10-1.
They got a bunch of animals on that team. They're ferocious.
Sounds like your kind of team.
I know.
NFC West, lastly, 49ers are 8-2.
Awesome. What do we got for the AFC East? We have New England at 8-3. In second, close to them, we have the Miami Dolphins. Actually, not close. They're sitting at 5-6. But they still have hope for playoffs. They still wild card situations or whatever they have going on.
Wild card.
The AFC North, we have Baltimore at 9-2. AFC South, Houston at 10-1. The only two teams that are 10-1 are Atlanta and Houston. Houston is playing our Texans this week, so
See what happens there.
I think they're going to knock them down. I think that they're going to be 10-2 after our Titans take care of them this week. What do you think?
I think maybe it'll happen. We will see. You're going to be there, so you better cheer extra
I'll be at the game. And the AFC West, we have Denver at 8-3.
Microcasting for your city. Talkapolis.
From the family grocery hauler to fire-breathing racing engines, the one name you need to know is USA Motor and Machine, located at 51 Cleveland Avenue in Nashville, Tennessee. Give them a call at 615-726-3725 or at usamotorandmachine.com.
Hey, and welcome back. We have Rob Bironas, kicker for the Tennessee Titans, on the show today. Thanks for coming.
Glad to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Of course. Congratulations on your recent record-breaking game against my Miami Dolphins.
It was a good win for the Titans and kicked a couple extra points, a lot of extra points. Hopefully we can do that a lot more this for these last 5 games. 230
to be exact, broke Al Del Greco's record. It's kind of a big deal. How did that feel?
I didn't even notice. I mean, it felt like the same thing over again. So, you know, part of it is just doing the same thing consistently over and over again. It's it can be quite boring at times, but then it's also exciting. Very redundant, but at the same time, it's one of those things you don't think about. You go out there and kick everyone like the same one.
What other records do you have? I know you have a ton of records. What else you got?
I don't know.
Under your belt.
You're going to have to go to Google.
40-something you're about to break another franchise record with 900.
Just read about it on Google. No, Twitter.
Twitter.
One of those online sites. Yeah.
Rob and I follow each other on Twitter. We're Twitter buddies, as well as. Can I talk about Rachel?
You talk about Rachel?
Okay. We've had her on the show before.
I was going to say, you have to ask Rachel if you can talk about Rachel.
Well, we all know Rachel loves Rachel, so we...
I guess that's a yes.
That is a yes. We've had Rachel on the show, my best friend, my crumb, everybody knows that. And Rachel and Rob just recently started dating, and I'm so happy about that.
It's
so this is going to
be a month. What do you mean just recently?
Well, I mean, a month. Yeah. Yeah, you know what I mean. And so Rob is like my brother-in-law. He's like my crumb-in-law now. So
no, I'm not your crumb-in-law.
He's my brother-in-law then.
Okay.
We're tight. We're tight up in here.
I knew you were pulling some strings to get me up on this show.
So what was your team growing up? Now it's obviously the Titans, but as a kid?
As a kid, I was a Trinity Shamrock as my high school.
Okay.
And then I actually grew up playing soccer, so we were traveling on weekends. I didn't watch football until I got in high school, and I'd watch just whatever game was on. I was pulled out to athletic fields. I didn't watch a lot of TV growing up.
Right.
We didn't have cable. We lived out in the country in Kentucky, so not enough homes on the street for the cable to run. By the time the dish came out, I was going to college. So.
And Kentucky didn't have. Obviously,
they didn't have pro sports. I mean, Cincinnati Bengals were like an hour and a half away, so that was if I was to say I had a team that my friends talked about, it was Cincinnati, but I didn't even know the rules. My dad kept me away from football growing up, my brothers and I, because my dad blew out a knee. We're not allowed to ride motorcycles either because he laid one down on his other leg. So keep us away from trouble by the trouble he went through.
Right, well, that's good.
So
kept you safe, but ended you up in football, though, which is kind of funny.
It's funny. My brother left me a voicemail about a month ago, 2 months ago. I kept it on my phone just because of what it said. It was from like '91 when we were in like 7th grade playing middle school soccer, and he's like, "Yeah, I was listening to the feedback, the audio on this tape of Mom recording on one of our soccer games, and she's talking to somebody who asked if we played football too, because we kicked goal kicks and corner kicks and free kicks so well. Yeah. If we were kickers on the football team, or if we played in football because we were so fast or this or that.
Yeah.
Not so fast anymore, but still got the big leg." And her response was, "No way. They don't." Rob asked about playing last year, but it was a no. But
that's funny.
How it all ended up was me here, and my brothers still ask if you think we could get back out on the football field and maybe get a job like the Grammatica brothers did or something.
Yeah.
Now you broke
Martin
in
Grammatica, that's who I was thinking of.
Okay, yeah, funny guy. I like Martin and his brother Bill. I was in camp with Tampa Bay when Martin was down there. Good guy. Worked out with Bill a couple times. So.
What do you think about Matt Prater?
I don't know Matt Prater.
You don't?
No, don't know him.
Okay. It's okay.
Kern knows him, our punter, so he knows him. I mean, he was out in Denver for a year and a half or 2.5 years, somewhere in there.
He's pretty good, though, as a kicker, yeah?
Yeah, you talking about Prater?
Yeah.
Yeah, Prater, yeah, he does well. I'd love to have those elements out there, the high altitude and limitless distance on kickoffs and field goals, but it's a lot less air density out there.
Right.
We always love to go out there to kick.
And what about, you were talking about your brothers. How many brothers do you have?
I've got 2 younger brothers, a year and a half behind me and 3 years behind me, and then an older sister, a year and a half older than me.
Okay. Cool.
So we all played soccer growing up. My brothers, at one time I was starting varsity, Greg was starting JV, and Blake was starting freshman for football, and then we all played varsity soccer together. So it was pretty cool when we were all out on the field together. Big
sports family. Tell me about some of your charities and why you chose those charities.
I started the Bironas Fund back in 2008 as a way to give back. I thought it was, when I was a rookie or even in training camp with some of these other teams, Green Bay, Tampa Bay, Pittsburgh, seeing the older guys, the vets who had been established in the league, have their own foundation and a way to give back, or they can use their celebrity status or their involvement with the NFL to give back to charities, kids, diseases, organizations. It kind of inspired me to want to do it myself, and after a couple years in the league, I felt that it was time to, set up my own foundation or my own fund. It's the Bironas Fund. It's a community foundation. I mean, a component fund through the community foundation in Middle Tennessee, and we started out as doing all music education, and now we've expanded to doing all greater kids causes in not just Tennessee or Middle Tennessee, but also in Kentucky, where I'm from. This way we can collaborate with some other friends and do some projects together, both in Tennessee and Kentucky. And we can even expand out past that now that we're doing greater kids causes. Some of the ones I've worked with in the past are Christmas for Kids, Make-A-Wish, St. Jude's. And then every once in a while there's a special one or two that come my way that I just want to help donate to. And if I don't do it through my fund, I'll do it personally. Garth Brooks, Teammates for Kids, is another one I've been involved with for about 7 years.
Nice. You do a lot with kids. Well, you're great with kids. I've seen, Cash, who we had on the show last week, calls Rob Uncle Rob. And,
he fell asleep last night at Sing for Your
so
Supper.
Sweet, yeah.
Lucy wanted to know if she could take him. I was like, no, I got him. I got him under control. Just before the show today, I was rushed to my niece's school to pick her up and get her to the ER because she was seeing what all would fit up her nose, and she was out on the playground and found a brown rock that looked about the right size, so we had to take her to the ER to get the rock out and make sure that everything was okay. But she's fine. Cash is he slept through the night last night, and Lily's fine, and
that's good.
Hopefully she learned, though. I don't want to be leaving work like that in a hurry to postponing this interview and everybody here. But
well, I'm glad you're here.
I'm sure that her mom and dad are going to make sure she doesn't do any more after they get that copay from the ER that they told me about.
Yikes. Nothing more up the nose, Lily. Nothing more.
Keep the rocks out of your nose. The marbles, too.
What about, would you do anything with kids if you weren't playing football? What other kind of job would you? I know you said soccer player, but what else?
Yeah, I grew up wanting to be a professional soccer player, and then when I started playing football, I wasn't sure which direction it was going to go. I was offered scholarships in both. So then in my mind, it was like, just be a pro athlete. We grew up playing sports since we were 3, 4 years old. Yeah. My major is marketing and business.
Okay.
My brothers both work with my dad. I was working there for a year and a half out of college. We were planning on the three of us taking it over and, kind of continuing the legacy of what my dad started and created. My brothers are still doing that now. So I'd probably be doing that with them. I don't know. We all kind of have the entrepreneur in mind, and between the three of us, we've got management, finance minor, marketing, and business. We've got it all covered for doing something together. So who knows? What
about fantasy football? We play in an all-girls league, as you know. Rachel's in ours.
I played back in 2002.
Did you? That was the last time?
Yeah, it was I think one of the first years that they did it. I was up in Green Bay. All my friends from high school were doing it, or a couple college friends, I think, and I got in on one of them. And honestly, I didn't have time to do it. But back then, it was time-consuming. It was an automated draft. It was I didn't even switch up players during the bye week. I didn't even know my own login. Honestly, I didn't touch it, and I won the league.
Really?
Yeah, I'm just that good.
That's ridiculous.
I didn't know if you didn't know this.
No.
Kind of a big deal.
I'm hearing.
I'm just joking.
Do you have many leather-bound books as well?
I do. My granddad gave me a bunch of leather-bound books that were at his house, and before he passed away, he told me I could have them. Now they're in my house now. So yes, I do have many leather-bound books.
And your cologne of choice is Sex Panther, and 60% of the time it works every time?
No, but 60% of the time it does work every time.
That's what I hear from Rachel. Okay, so what about the matchup for the Titans and the Texans this week? What's the game plan?
Really? You want to put the game plan out here on the internet so that everybody that's watching this can forward it on to?
What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do different than we did last week with the Jags?
Win. We need to go out and win.
Excellent answer.
We need to finish drives. We need to produce in the red zone. Third down efficiency, we need to bump it up a little bit and stop the drives and continue our drives. Stop, when our defense on the field, not give up the big plays. Special teams did well last week.
They did. They always do.
I dropped a field goal, but I need to go ahead and get all 5 for 5. But hopefully I'll have 5 extra points rather than 5 field goals.
Right. That'd be great.
No, it's the guys need to show up and play. They need to have an urgency about them, and we were lacking that a little bit last week. It was seen on the field. It was seen by the drives that weren't complete with the touchdown, the big plays that were given up on defense, or the the score itself. I mean, we were better than that, and we should have performed better. So
Right.
we'll go out this week and we reviewed film. We're always reviewing film. We're always correcting mistakes. And the thing about this league is that it's an ever-changing game each week because you've got a different opponent. You're scheming for a different opponent. That opponent's, they're scouting you as well. So everybody's out there trying to win, and you can't win them all. You definitely want to try. We've had a change, obviously, in the coaching staff with the offense coordinator, Chris Palmer, being released and let go. So with Dow stepping up, and maybe that's a change we need, where it'll open up our offense a little bit more, and we'll go for the jugular and try to get the win.
All right, we have some footage of Rob kicking the winning field goal for the Pittsburgh Steelers game a few weeks back. Let's watch that.
And would light up the night sky in Nashville.
Playing right now.
Bironas from 40 for the win.
I wish we could watch it,
Kick
too.
on the way.
Yes! And it's good. That was a great game. I was there.
I was there, too.
You definitely showed up that game. All right, we have some Twitter questions.
All right, let's get to them.
All right, let's do it.
At Rob Bironas.
Yes, follow him as if you already don't. Follow him, and he's a great tweeter. He tweets a lot, and he tweets back at you, too. So
A great tweeter. Who grades that?
I do. I give you an A+.
Okay, I was just asking. I didn't know where they came from. I haven't even been doing Twitter for a year yet.
Really?
No, my marketing and management people ran it for a little while, just to let people know what kind of my schedule. Just if I was doing an appearance somewhere or a charity event somewhere. I didn't really want to get into it because I knew it would be a full kind of ongoing thing.
Right.
But I took it over I guess it's been about a year. Last November, December time.
You have fun with it, though.
Oh, yeah, you have to have fun with it. I mean, there's going to be some haters, always going to be hating.
Have they tweeted you they hate you?
No. You know, they just be hating on people in general.
Right.
And you get caught up in that.
Haterade they're drinking.
Yeah,
the
so
Haterade.
I let them talk to the rest of my followers, and it usually ends up they close down their site or something. I don't know. Or I block them. But for the most part, all the fans are great. All the Twitter people are great. It's a Twitterverse out there of happy people.
Do you follow Jenny Johnson? High five.
No.
She is hysterical. I'll show you her after the show. She's hysterical. She gets into fights with Chris Brown, and she literally got into the biggest fight with him yesterday, or like a couple days ago, and closed his Twitter down.
The whole team. Yeah, I saw that on like one of the news channels. But the whole, the whole gossip, the whole drama.
I know.
Yeah, I don't read my timeline enough, anyways, because I follow people that I pretty much have met or know, and the fans don't like that because I'm not following 35,000 people or whatever it is, 20,000. Like, what's the point of even, what's the point of following anybody if you follow everybody?
That's true, and then you can't see, because I can't see. I follow like all the NFL teams for work and things like that, and I can't see what my friends are doing.
Exactly. I want to have one Twitter, whether it be, I'm not going to entertain multiple Twitter accounts. So
that would be a lot of work.
That'd be too much work. It'd be work for my friends too, because they want to see what I'm doing on the business side of things.
Right.
So I just kind of combine it all, business and personal, and just roll with it.
Business
and I do
and pleasure.
I do it. I didn't say that. I said business and professional. And my job's fun though. You're right. So it's something that I've come to like and do it kind of my own way.
Well, good. All right. Well, let's answer some of these questions from these peeps, from the followers. At Titans Forever, how does it feel to hear your name mentioned among some of the greatest kickers of all time? Jason Elam, Morton Anderson, Adam Vinatieri. And how do you rank yourself amongst these kickers?
To be ranked amongst, not even to mention any names, because there's so many great kickers, there's so many good ones and great ones that are kicking now, it's an honor. It's humbling. I fought for 5 years to get in this league, played Arena 2, played Arena for 2 years, cut by Green Bay, Tampa Bay, Pittsburgh.
Paid your dues.
Before coming to the Titans, who were, at the time, needed the cheapest kicker possible because of salary cap trouble, and thank God, because it's close to my hometown in Louisville. My dad doesn't fly. He can drive to all the home games.
Perfect.
It worked out well. I lived in a hotel my first year not knowing what was going to, because it was week to week for 3 years. They cut me any time and there's nothing guaranteed. I've been here 8 years now, and it's been a blessing.
Wow, 8 years.
The accolades that come with it, the awards that come with it is awesome, but the opportunity and to follow my dreams, and that's what's huge, is that I'm able to, live out my dreams.
That's true.
So now I guess I got to start dreaming bigger.
Do it. At Adam Maddox, how does icing affect you?
That's one that, you know what, coaches either going to ice you or they're not going to ice you. We're going to let the coaches do what they do, and I'm just going to go out there and make field goals. Whether I make it right before timeout or make it after timeout, that's up to coach.
All right. At Chicken Nugget Lava.
Really?
Yeah, really.
You picked that one out on purpose.
She did. Sharka Shellac did. But there's Fat Marlon Brando. There was, on the ones that they were asking me, there was Thicker Than a Snicker, Not My Baby. What was it? Not My Baby Daddy? Or
Not My Baby.
Not My Baby? There were some crazy ones that were asking me. Okay, so yeah, Chicken Nugget Lava. What's your most memorable moment as a Titan?
As a Titan, probably signing the contract to play here back my rookie year. Another one would be signing the hotel bill after my first season, you know. But as far as on the field, I would have to say obviously the 60-yarder against the Colts back in 06. I think in 08 was the 8 field goals. Or 07 was the 8 field goals.
8 field goals.
And one, yep.
Is that a record?
That's an NFL record.
That's awesome.
26 points by a kicker, another record.
Get the heck out of here.
They're in the Hall of Fame at Canton, but I believe they're archived now. But yeah, no, those are moments that I remember and everybody remembers. But one that nobody really will remember was a preseason game in 05, my rookie year, when Tampa Bay was here in town and I kicked 53 yarders with 12 or 20 seconds on the clock. I'm not sure exact time, and it tied up the game. And it was 53 yards. It wasn't a big deal to anybody. Nobody really liked me for doing it because it kept us in overtime for a preseason game. But at the time, that was the biggest kick. It was the first clutch kick I had, first opportunity I showed that I could make a distance kick with a lot of pressure on me.
Yeah.
So that was basically what put me in the driver's seat to have this job, and I'll remember that one forever.
That's very cool. All right, and at Fat Marlon Brando, he's tweeted us a bunch before. How do you like the new OT goal rules and kickoff rules implemented by the NFL this year?
I think they're better because you can't just for overtime. You know, you fought this game for 60 minutes, and now it's basically on a coin toss because you don't have to drive down and score a touchdown. You can drive down, kick a field goal, and it's over. Now, the new rules, if you kick a field goal, if you get stalled out and you kick a field goal, the other team gets the ball and has the opportunity to drive down, and if they kick a field goal, then they can tie it, and then it's whoever scores next wins. But if you score a touchdown, the game's over. So you got to at least get to the end zone. Overtime's it's one of those things that you got to end the game. Nobody wants to end in a tie. So if you're playing the full period and nobody scores, like we saw a couple weeks ago with, I believe it was the 49ers had a tie ball game. I don't know, we were flying back from somewhere, and nobody ever wants to have a tie because that just messes up everything at the end when they're doing, the playoff, whatever.
So
this
rare
and that.
Ties are. Have we had one this year?
No, we don't. We haven't had a tie in a long time.
Yeah.
But there was one earlier this year. I like to see a game played out.
Right.
Just like in college with the bowl system, NFL has the playoffs, so you can actually see who's the Super Bowl champs. Whereas in college, sometimes you end up with 2 or 3 teams that should be playing for it, but it's all about a point system to get into that game.
Speaking of Super Bowl, who do you think is going to go this year?
Well, the Titans. I mean, we're still in the run.
Avi. I mean, who's playing the Titans in the Super Bowl?
I don't know, man. I don't watch football. Really? I mean, I work on Saturday mornings till noon, and then we get on a plane, or I see my family that's in town because it's a couple hours that I have off work, and then we have meetings at night. So I miss the first games of the Saturday. I miss the night games of Saturday. I try to catch bits and pieces as we go, but you know what? The couple hours off on a weekend when my friends are off or my family's off in town to see me, that's worth more than watching TV. Like I told you earlier, I don't watch a lot of TV.
Yeah, I don't either, except for football and Dancing with the Stars. I love it. It's fun.
Oh, yeah, I love Dancing with the Stars.
And Nashville, I'm obsessed with Nashville. Have you seen that?
I've watched a couple of series. They're on the DVR. They'll be there when I have time to watch.
Yeah, that's true.
But, I mean, if you live in Nashville, you kind of already – it's a very predictable show if you're from here. But for people outside of Nashville that are curious about the music business and the songwriting and, the different things that we live, it's something that can be intriguing to them.
Speaking of songwriting, you're getting into songwriting, or you're interested in it?
I'm interested in it. I've toyed around with it with a couple of my buddies, and you know what? We're actually on next Thursday. They're demoing 2 or 3 that we've done. We've demoed demoed 2 others. So that was pretty cool that their publisher liked the songs we wrote.
Very cool.
Demoing them to try to plug and cut and whatever, however they do it. I'm learning.
Nice.
I'm learning. I'm not saying I'm good at it. I'm not saying I'm great at it.
You and Rachel should write a song together.
We actually put a date down to write.
Really?
In a couple weeks now. So.
I love that. I can't wait to hear what you guys come up with. Okay, at Jordan Fenton, did you always want to be a kicker growing up? We pretty much covered that already, but.
Yeah, we covered that. So we answered that without knowing we were answering it.
Yeah, exactly.
The answer, yes. I always wanted to kick something, whether it be a soccer ball or football. Yeah, that changed as I got older. So.
I like that. At Hungry Eyed 711, what is your impression of Jake Locker?
My impression of Jake Locker is he is a fine young lad.
Fine young lad.
Fine young lad.
Jake Locker.
No, he's going to do well. He's obviously battling a little bit of injury this year that everybody saw, so it's okay that I talk about it. And he'll get over that and move on. And I think he's going to have a long career in this league. He's doing well. He's definitely a leader. He knows how to study a playbook, knows how to study defense, call out audibles, and he can throw the ball and run the ball. I mean, he's kind of an all-around great quarterback, and he's going to be great. He's going to be a good one to watch.
Happy to have you, Jake. At
Say
Catherine,
that again.
Happy to have you, Jake.
No, to the camera, please.
Happy to have you.
One more time.
Happy to have you.
Just because.
We're so happy to have you.
Shout out to Jake Locker.
Yes.
But he's not on Twitter, so.
What?
Nah, he doesn't want to get caught up in it. You know what? He's a family guy.
Really?
And
that's good.
Everybody always tweets at me, tell Jake Locker to get a Twitter. I'm like,
huh.
I'll tell you what, you come down here, knock on the door, and tell him to get his own. But, no, you know what? When he leaves work, he wants to be with his family, and that can be, you got to respect that. And,
yeah.
I mean, I'm the same way. You got to be family and friends. That's what's important. Football is life, but it's also a job. It's also work. You have to be able to handle it and balance it at the same time.
Well, I totally agree with you. What about at Catherine Brock? Who should Auburn hire next year as their head coach?
Somebody.
What do you think?
Somebody that's going to get us some wins.
Yeah, right?
No, I like Gene. Gene was a good guy. He brought back some tradition to the university and to the football program, and actually very welcoming to past players, which Tupperville wasn't. And nearly as much. I don't know about everybody's experience, but I was not a Tupperville fan. I came in with Bowden, lost my scholarship when Tupperville got there. He took about 18 of them, told us that we would never play another Auburn down, and that's that. So we'll just move on with that. It's all it's the last couple of years I've been an Auburn fan again. I mean, the last decade, but it's one of those things where it was a sour spot for a little while, but. I think they'll do their research and get somebody in there that's going to get the program back on track like they were a couple years ago.
I hope so.
Need another national championship down there.
Right.
Alabama's they're on fire, and we don't need we need to be able to take them down next year.
The only bowl game I've ever been to was Texas and Alabama in the Rose Bowl. It was awesome.
Who won? Do you even remember?
Of course I remember. And this is a funny story because I was tailgating with my ex, Jamie. You know Jamie, don't you? And Matthew McConaughey, actually. And Matthew's
Hold on a
huge
second.
Texas
Time out.
fan.
I'm just going to pick that up and let you put it right back.
Oh, stop it.
Yeah, here you go. My good
friend,
Paul McCartney.
Story.
My good friend Paul McCartney told me never name drop. It's just you don't want to name drop.
Okay, so me and Matthew were at the football games together.
I thought you were with Jamie.
Well, let's just forget about Jamie for 5 minutes. Me and Matthew.
Oh, okay.
Okay. We were all tailgating, and Jamie and Matthew are really good friends.
That was what, 4 years ago?
About 3.
Out in California.
I think, yeah.
Yeah, I was there.
Were you really?
I was tailgating with my brother-in-law.
Oh, get out! That's so funny.
So Matthew came over to our tailgate. He was over at our tailgate, just hanging out. He said, "Hey, I'll be right back." I told my buddy I'd stop in for 5 minutes over at this other one. I'll be right back. So that's where he went. Now I know. Got it.
Right.
Got it.
So anyway, I showed up and I'm all decked out in Alabama colors because.
Hold on, time out, real quick. This story's taking forever. She told me.
Are you serious?
She told me this was gonna be a 10-minute interview.
Yeah, this is the first time I opened my mouth. Got a word in edgewise for crying out loud.
And on that note, we're just gonna cut this short right at that story. You're not even gonna let her get it out.
I showed up as a Texan fan, and
God.
Alabama won, and so it was kind of funny because I put like all my Alabama gear on because it was cold, and Jamie bought me a sweatshirt, and then I started putting A's on because they started winning. So he
you're
made
just
fun
kind
of
of fair.
me.
You just kind of
Because
go.
I don't really follow college. I'm more pro.
Fair weather fan.
Yeah. Well, I'm not even a fan to say like I don't.
You just
I went to school in Tallahassee, so
still
if I'm
learning the ABCs.
if I'm a college fan, I'm a Florida State fan.
Okay.
But this game was amazing, and I showed up looking like a Texas fan, and Matthew's all like this. And then they started losing, and I started putting on layers and layers of Alabama gear because it was freezing. And then we went back to the tailgate, and he's like, say they win, and like you just dress up as an Alabama fan? Like, what's that?
Are y'all
fan.
Are y'all picking up what she's putting down?
And next week I'm going to bring a picture in, and I'm going to show me and Matthew McConaughey. Wow. Anyway.
I don't even think she was at the game. I don't think she was there.
I was, okay? And it was fun. We had a good time. And then we slept in his Airstream. Me and Jamie and I slept in his Airstream.
Sure.
And then we danced in his studio. This isn't a joke. I swear this happened. That's all.
No, seriously. It
was actually really fun. It was fun.
Seriously, if you dream it in HD, it could be a movie.
It was the full-on truth, I swear.
I don't believe her.
Video, I swear.
I don't think so. Okay, so on to the next Twitter.
That's actually it.
We don't have one more?
Oh, yeah, about your toe.
So who's running
Salty
this interview?
pretzel.
Who's running this interview?
You are.
Okay, Salty Pretzel.
Yeah, do it. Read it. What
Since
happened?
you stubbed your toe earlier this year during a kickoff,
Your toe. Do you walk with the swag
is it
too?
hurting you at all?
Is
I
it?
didn't. I
hurting you?
think they're talking about the Detroit Lions game on the first kickoff where it wasn't my toe I stubbed. I hit a sand patch that was covered up by the grass or whatever, and since I had them, like right after that game, I had them resod the kickoff area because it was actually, I should have had a high ankle sprain at the least, and actually should have broke my leg, and it should have dislocated. Like by the pictures that we saw.
Ouch.
It I planted and hit the sand patch. My toe turned in at the ball, but my knee was still pointing downfield, and then I rolled it also and tapped my ankle. I remember I tapped my ankle, and I thought I broke it at the moment. But fortunately, through playing soccer and basketball and all the other sports growing up, and football, basketball.
Very strong toes.
No, not the toe, the ankle. I've rolled it so
Very
many
strong
times
ankle.
and sprained it so many times that the ligaments actually were loose enough to let it go, and before my knee buckled or whatever buckled, and I got the body weight off of it as I made contact with the ball, and I didn't actually even. I was over it in 2 weeks. I mean, I taped it up for about 4 or 5 weeks, and that was that.
Good.
But fortunately, that would have been a real disaster had that happened, because it would have been a season-ending injury, and
obviously,
never like those.
Right.
I think I've played every game since I've been here, and I hope
Thank God.
to retire here one day.
Yes, I think so. I hope so. You will. Obviously, Salty Pretzel. He's been a monster, an animal out there, a buffalo, a horse, kicking these field goals and these extra points. So he's been an animal.
An animal, a monster, a buffalo, just stop. Really?
I'm just trying to be nice to you.
I'm a horse out there?
Yeah, you're an animal. You're.
There you go. Just leave it at that. You're an animal out there.
He's an animal out there.
Yeah, don't
He's a baller.
Don't try to use so many adjectives. Just baller,
Baller.
Animal. Be broad with it. Don't be specific. Like a horse with a mane and a saddle. Come on.
Do you ride horses?
I grew up riding horses.
You did? So did I.
In Kentucky. Come on.
Avi. Very cool.
You want to finish that word? Avi.
No,
Obviously.
I'm addicted to shortening my words.
Yeah, I'm hacking on you.
I know you are. Why? Why do you hate me?
Because I like busting on you. I didn't say I hated you. I'm here, aren't I? I'm sitting in.
I know. I love you. I'm so happy you're here. And I'm so happy you came.
So what's with the purple?
Purple what?
The eyeshadow. Why did we choose purple today?
Here we go. More with that. Well, I was going to wear a purple shirt.
And we didn't.
And I didn't. But then I thought, you know what? It kind of goes because it's almost gray. Is it gray a little, or is it just like straight up purple?
Zoom in. Can we zoom?
Zoom?
Yeah. Oh, just joking. Just joking.
Testing.
Test. 1, 2. 1, 2. Yeah. Yeah, so it is purple, and it goes with the gray shirt, but it's not looking purple. It's looking gray.
How do you like these on there? Just in case anybody messes with me, I elbow them. All right, shoulder them.
Yeah,
in the
elbow
face.
them. Elbow them.
Boom.
Yeah.
And then
there
shoulder.
you go. Elbow, shoulder. I mean, I'm just
Yeah,
helping
you get
out.
an elbow, shoulder.
No, yeah, I didn't even notice them.
No?
No.
Well, now what do you
But
think?
now I see
that
them. They're,
Pay attention to more of my details.
You're wearing rocks on your shoulder. Just stay away from my niece, Lily.
I was just going to say. Thank you so much for coming on.
Glad to be
I
on.
appreciate it.
You're welcome.
All right. And tune in next week. Send us some more questions and tweet us at Nancy Filippelli and at Talkapolis and
at Rob Bironas.
at Rob Bironas.
That's a wrap.
Microcasting for your city. Talkapolis.